Hey everyone, in today's video I'm going to show how to make notes for our class 11, class 12, whichever class you're in, how to make notes that will actually help you. See, while making notes you cannot just write everything, right? Like whatever is there in your textbook, you have to make the shortest form of it and put it in your notes so that you can remember it while studying. Okay, so let's see how to make notes and how to only write the important points in our notes. So for reference, I'll be using history chapter 1, that is bricks, beads and bones, and let's see how we can make notes out of that. See, the first thing that you have to identify while making notes, or you have to like keep in your mind while making notes, is you have to find out the headings, like each and every topic, whatever the topic is, you have to write that down, and from that topic whatever are the keywords, like the things that you have to remember, that you will write in your note. Okay, see, you can see this is bricks, beads and bones. So how did I make it? First of all, whatever was important I've marked it in the book, and then I've taken the pen. See, first line of this chapter is that the Harappan seal, it is the most distinctive artifact of the Harappan or the Indus Valley civilization, and it is made up of a stone called steatite. Now, how do we write this in a short way? See, I just wrote seal because I know this chapter is of Harappan civilization, so I wrote seal and I wrote steatite. Then I'll remember that the seal was made of steatite, and then there's the second line which said that it contains animal motifs and signs, and I just wrote that because these are the things that I will have to remember from these 4 lines. So see, I have shortened these 4 lines into just a single line that says seal steatite contains animal motifs and signs. Now the next part, over here we can see that there's so many sources given, right? Like seals, beads, weights, stone blades. So you just have to read through the NCERT, point out the sources and write that down. Okay, now after writing down everything that you might think is important from the first page, you'll move on to the next page. Now the next page, the topic is subsistence strategies. So again, so your heading should also be that, subsistence strategies. Now you will try to write it down as short, in the shortest possible way. So see, subsistence strategies, we have over here 2 types, right? One is the plant products and another is the animal products. So that is how we'll write over here. See, both plants and animals. Animals, my fish was also there, so I just wrote fish on the side. And then there's archaeobotanists, whatever they identified, and the grains, then archaeozoologists, and then domesticated animals, and then wild animals. See, these are all the key points. If you write these down, you have to write these down while writing this answer. So you have to make sure that whenever you are writing your answer, these key points are there, from this part of the chapter. This entire paragraph, these are the key points that you must remember while writing the answer. Okay, now next again, same way we can see this is the next topic, agricultural technologies, and again this also I have shortened it down. How have I shortened it down? By writing whatever is the keyword. See, over here you can see the first line is seals. There are terracotta sculpture. They indicate the bull was known. And what can we extrapolate from this? That oxen was used for ploughing. So this I have written it as bull. From where do we get to know that the bull was known? From terracotta sculptures and seals. And again, and what do we get to know from this? That oxen was used for ploughing. So this is how I made it in a very short way so that I can use my brain to think about the information as well. Okay. Then next is, see, again over here it's written terracotta models of the plough have been found at sites in Cholistan and at Banavali, that is in Haryana. So this also I have shortened it down and written as terracotta models of plough, Cholistan and Banavali. See, I don't have to write the full line that it has been found here and here. See, what is the point of notes? Just to note down the key points. So that is what we'll do. Try to make it as short as possible, and every time, like whatever page you are in, you have to write down the key point. See, first of all, write the heading. Then after the heading, try to identify what can be the question from that section, and from that start writing the key points. See, like we had subsistence strategies, so we wrote about the subsistence strategies, right? And same way we had agricultural technologies, we wrote about the agricultural technologies. See, this we wrote only the key points, we didn't write the entire paragraph. We just agricultural technology, traces of canal, where? Afghanistan. So we'll just write traces of canal, Afghanistan. We will not write that traces of canal was found in Afghanistan with Afghanistan with Shortugai. No, we'll just write traces of canal, Shortugai, where? Afghanistan. In bracket. No need to write where also. Just Shortugai, bracket, Afghanistan. Done. Same way, reservoirs of water, Dholavira, Gujarat. Done. Terracotta models of plough, Cholistan and Banavali, Haryana. Same way, ploughed field. That was in Kalibangan, Rajasthan. And outside you can also write 2 sets of furrow. 2 sets of furrow. That what did that represent? That represented 2 different types of crops. You don't have to write it in full. You can just write it like this. 2 different crops. Furrows at right angles representing 2 different crops. So this is what I mean. When we make notes, we use symbols. We make it as short as possible. Now again, the next part of that chapter, Mohenjo-daro, right? It's a planned urban center. So I've written all the important points. See, there were 2 parts, right? There were higher, that is the higher and smaller part, which is the citadel, and the lower and larger part, that is the lower town. See, I have made it so short so that it will be helping me to remember it, and very quickly I can revise. Say again, there is bricks, they were of standardized ratio, and it's also written in the book that it was the length was 4 times the height and the breadth was 2 times the height. So that also I've written it. And then Alexander Cunningham, he was the first Director General of ASIC. The important point, some of the things might be important. So you can use different pens, like maybe red. See, I have highlighted few parts with the red pen. Some parts that I thought that I might have some problem in remembering. So see, the next part, tracing social differences. This one also, this is something, let me show you this. Okay, see this one, this is tracking social differences. There's burials and there is looking for luxuries, and this is like a big part, right? There's like 3-4 paragraphs in here. Yeah, so now how do we write this very shortly? Like this. First of all, I wrote burials, and then I wrote whatever that was important inside that, whatever I need to remember to write in an answer, I wrote it there. And the next thing was the studying artifacts. That studying artifacts could be divided into 2 parts, that is luxuries as well as utilitarian. So I further divided it into 2 parts, and there's a little bit mistake over here, so I just pointed. See, you can use your notes to your own convenience. So I just made it convenient, and I made this section, see, division over here. This utilitarian is this side and luxuries is this side. So helps me get a quick revision. And then there was craft production and etc. There's this part also, identifying centers of production. How did I write it? I again, see, same way, I shortened it down as much as possible. So you have to shorten it down. See, again, the strategies for procuring materials. This is a very important part of the chapter. Over here, what I've done, I have divided the section. See, over here, we have this, right? Materials from the subcontinent and beyond, contact with distant lands. So I read through these and then I shortened it down to 2 parts. See, how did we get the materials? From the subcontinent or from distant lands, right? So first I wrote about the subcontinent. I wrote whatever important information was given over there. Like, see, number 1, there was Nageshwar and Balakot, that is the established settlements, and then there was Lothal, and next they also sent expeditions, right? So there were 2 ways that they got the material from the subcontinent. One was that they established settlements, and the second thing was that they sent expeditions. So I wrote the examples also sideways so that I will remember, And then contact with distant lands, there is over here copper from Oman, which is a very important part of the chapter. And then next lands, there were Meluha, there was Dilmun, etc. So all the important points I wrote it over here, whatever was mentioned, in a way that I will understand. See, you might not understand what I have written, but I have written it in a way so that I will understand it myself. So it's the tricky part about notes. You just cannot follow anybody else's notes blindly. You should be able to make it in your own, something that will help you out, because if it is personal to you, then only you will be able to understand it in the best possible way, right? You'll be able to understand whatever marks you have made on the notes. Yeah, so this is all that I could explain about note making. See, don't worry much. Do one thing, take a page, write the chapter name, then go on, write the heading. Then in that heading, whatever you feel is important, try to make subheadings out of this. Like, suppose if you're getting a question, try to make subheadings out of it. But if there's no subheading, you can do one thing. You can just write it one after another. But write it in the shortest possible way. Like I did, make one sentence into one word. Like, only write the important word that you need to remember. No need to add, extra lines and anything. Yeah, so this is how you make notes, and I just hope that this video helps you. If you have any doubt, you can write in the comments. I will be willing to help. Yeah, so please like, subscribe and share. If this video helps, share it with your friends as well. Thank you for watching.